Let's build it. You can get this file by clicking the link in the description or going to Thingiverse.com and searching for Modular Mounting System. I know that's not what it said in the video, but this is the one that I like and this is the one I'm going to build, and I hope you'll come along for the ride. Alright guys, let's get started. When you click on the link, this is the page it'll take you to. It is the Modular Mounting System on Thingiverse. You just click the download all files up here on the top right. You have to wait on a short countdown. And then you just save it to whatever folder you want to save it to. Once we have the file downloaded, you'll have a zip file. You're going to want to extract that. Open it up. Once it's extracted, you're going to have these files. So let's open up images. We're going to be making this tripod stand, so these 9 parts are all that we need. So we know we're not going to be using the arm at all, but we will be using the base, the bolts, the knobs, pretty much everything else. And I'm just going to extract it all to here and say yes to all because there are some parts that are the same. Alright, get rid of those. We're not going to need that. So we're not going to need these C-clamps for the tripod. We do need the base flat. Don't need this one. We do need the bolt. We don't need the hex shaft. So some of these knobs are the same. So we don't need that one or that one. We do need that one. If you're using metal bolts, you'll need the wrench. If you're using the plastic bolts, I found that the wrench will over tighten and you can break it. You can break the bolt. So only print the wrench if you're doing metal bolts. We don't need that knob. We don't need the camera mount screw. We don't need the mount camera, the headphone holder. We do need the holder flip. We don't need the horizontal. We don't need the single. We do need A and B, but not B with the tab. We do need the phone clamp bolt. We do need the phone clamp knob. And we don't need either of these two. So there's our 9 items right there. So the next thing we'll do is bring up Bamboo Studio. You can do this in Orca or Cura or whatever you're using, but I'm using Bamboo. Alright, I'm just going to go over to Prepare. Bring up those files, and I'm just going to select them all and drag them all over here in one go. No, I don't want to load them as a single object. Go ahead and auto arrange. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, this knob here, we need the knob, but we don't need this little set screw kind of thing. So you can click on this and split to objects, and that'll split each one into its own thing. So we can just hit delete and get rid of that. Now that's not going to have a lot of area touching the bed. It'll probably be just fine. But what I like to do with these smaller parts like this, go into object mode, others, and just go ahead and turn on a brim. That way you know they're not going to move or go away. Everything else shouldn't need a brim. Some things will need supports, so we're going to go over to support on a global level. We're going to click on global because we want everything that needs supports to have supports. And we're going to go over to tree, build plate only. Let's see what that looks like. I don't like how these are so close there, so let's move some things around. Let's just reorganize a little here. I'm going to go ahead and split these into objects as well. And really that could have just been moved over a little, but I'm kind of weird about how I like things to be organized. Just remember that it's going to make a little purge line through here, down at the bottom, and up. Alright. Let's see. Printing it at 2.0 is fine. Strength, I always like to up the walls. Grid can cause you problems where the infill actually overlaps per layer and it sticks up a little, and the print head can hit that and knock your print loose. Worst case scenario, it can actually knock the print head loose, and that's bad. So I like gyroid. Gyroid's strong. This is going to be functional part, so I'm going to go ahead and do 25% infill. However, I'm going to go back up here to objects. These bolts and this nut, I am going to go strength. I'm going to make those 100% infill. We want those to be strong. It's automatically going to change it to rectangular. Just let it do its thing. We want those to be super strong. Everything else should be fine at 25% infill, 4 walls. Let's see, I already got supports and we already got our rafts. So let's see. Alright, nothing is right on top of anything. I like putting these pieces together like this, really close together, so that the brims will actually intersect each other. That way it makes it a lot easier when you take one off, the other one just kind of comes with it, and you don't have a piece of brim stuck to your bed that you have to use something to scrape off. So it's going to use less than 100 grams of filament for this whole thing, and it's only going to take about 3 hours. That's not bad. Alright, that's it. So now we can just hit print and send it over to the printer and get it going. Alright, we've removed the parts from the print bed and we can begin assembling this thing. We want to start by removing the supports. You can usually just grab them and break them off, but if they're super stubborn, you can use some needle nose pliers or something to give you a little more leverage, or if they're in an area you can't really reach all that well. After the supports, you want to go ahead and look at your part and see if there's anything else that might impede movement or just be in the way. So you can take your clippers and reach in there and get to them. Printers used to come with these things, but they don't really anymore, so you can get a cheap set at Harbor Freight. Just clip out all the junk that looks like it shouldn't be there. Make sure everything else looks clean, nothing going to be in the way. Keep things from moving the way they should. Sometimes your printer will print supports like this strip. You can get a grip on the edge of it. You can usually just pull it and it'll all come off like a zipper. There's a piece in here. There we go. Nice. Don't forget to check these knobs. The printer will print a support material in there. It looks like it's full, but it's not. It's hollow. I found that these cheap picks from Harbor Freight, they work really well for this. You just poke them in there and pull it a little and it usually pops right out. See? And it'll leave you nice, clean inside. I don't have metal screws. You really should do this with metal screws, but I'm just going to use these plastic ones. I printed them 100% infill. I printed 2 just in case I mess something up. And I'm going to be following the instructions that come in the zip file. The particular one we're going to be following is this one right here. I hope you can see that. But if you follow along with me, that's the whole point. You don't need to follow the instructions. You just see what I do. So we're going to start with the base and work our way up. Decide which one of these 2 knobs we need. Again, you only really need to print one of them. I think I'm going to go for the shallow one. The base has a hex socket on one end and it's flat on the other, on the top part. You're going to want the flat part on your left with the leg sticking toward you. This piece, there's that little edge there, you want it facing toward you, toward the one singular leg. And then you take the small bolt, push it through. You want to use the knob that doesn't have the lip on the end of it. And when you tighten this down, just try to get it finger tight. Any more than that and you can break that plastic screw. Try not to over tighten. It will break that plastic bolt even at 100% infill. If you have a metal bolt, you won't have to worry about that. Next up, we're going to work on the part that holds the phone. These pieces here. This is a hex wrench to tighten that knob, but again, you do not want to over tighten it. But if you use a metal bolt, that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, the part with the groove in it slides into this piece like so. It has snaps to kind of help you align it, and you want to go and have this one little open window right there. So it's one snap in, I believe. This piece slides in freely. This will be the part that actually moves when you tighten it down. And the nut, there's this little window right here and a window right here. The nut goes through the window into that little piece so you could slide it forward. Now you take the knob that has the lip and it goes into this groove. Next you put in the bolt. You want to slide the sliding part forward to push the bolt out so that you can tighten it down into that nut. Once you get it about as far as you can go, you're going to slide the slide back out, and that'll put the head of that bolt into that socket, and it'll keep it from turning so that you can tighten it the rest of the way however far you need it to tighten. You can see it tightening here, and it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty solid. We need to loosen it some to get my old phone in there. Alright, that's better. Let's tighten it up here and we'll see how well it holds. Remember, don't over tighten. Hand tight's good enough. And yeah, it's pretty sturdy, pretty rigid. And then this part just slides over the top like that, and you'll hear it lock into place. You'll hear a click, and then tighten that up. Once it's all tightened down, it's pretty sturdy. It holds place well. This will be great for recording things on the table in front of you like this. Yeah, works really well. This is definitely going to come in handy for future videos. Speaking of future videos, if you want to be a part of helping this channel grow, be sure to like and subscribe. If not, please still like and subscribe. It really helps out, and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. I got some big plans for the channel. Please leave a comment down below to let me know if there's anything you would like to see 3D printed and possibly assembled and built. We'll see if we can make it happen. Thank you to everyone who watches this video and likes the video, and I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.